Welcome back to Just Got Radio on BJPen.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton, episode 190 here. Just to have two guests this week. We had a couple canceled fights, just took some guests off, but we're going to be joined by Anthony Hernandez to preview his co-main event fight against Brendan Allen. This should be a really fun fight, a rematch. These two fought in LFA. Anthony won a split decision. He kind of wishes he wasn't getting the rematch. He thinks he should get someone a bit higher up in the rankings, but he likes his fight. He thinks win over Allen really cements himself as one of those top middleweights and a dark horse in the division. And then we close things out talking to Modestas Bukauskas to preview his fight against Rafael Sakira. Modestas didn't know a whole lot about this guy, but he's eager to fight in front of the States in an arena, and he's looking forward to this one. He thinks to get a quick win and maybe hop on that London card next month, but obviously not looking past his first opponent. But be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of Just Scrap Radio. All right, we're jumping UFC middleweight Anthony Hernandez, who's got a big fight upcoming here at UFC Seattle. Anthony, how's it going, man?
Going good, man. Just got home from riding and burning some fire now.
Big fight against Brendan Allen. Like, was this someone you wanted? Like, a pretty well-known opponent up in the rankings? Like, is this guy you're pretty happy to get then?
Honestly, I wanted to fight someone ahead of him just because I've beaten him before. Obviously, he's gotten way better. He's a whole new fighter. But it is what it is. I'm gonna go fucking prove what I'm worth and prove that I'm ready for the fucking title shot whenever this year.
I think a lot of people will forget that this is a rematch just because it happened in LFA, and I know a lot of people will watch regional stuff. So, like, do you
Yeah,
look back on that fight at all, or do you kind of view this as like a brand new fight? Like, are you viewing this as a rematch, or is this kind of a one-off, like a new fight
no,
for
it's a
you?
new fight. It's a new fight. Every fight's a new fight. You know what I mean? No matter what. Just I'm not sleeping on him at all. I know he's good. I know he got a lot of areas he cleaned up, and he's fucking slick as hell on the ground. But I've been doing this shit my entire life. I'm ready to go get this fucking shit now for this my time's up. You know what I mean?
Were you surprised you weren't given another main event? I thought like you did really well against that Michelle. I thought maybe and knowing how good your cardio is, I thought they'd maybe give you another main event.
No, I asked for it, but I mean, I get it. Song Yudong and whatchamacallit, who's he fighting? I don't even know
Cejudo?
who he's fighting. Yeah, I get it. They got more followers. At the end of the day, I need to do more fucking interviews and shit and get my following base up, but I just really don't give a fuck, to be honest.
Yeah, you are tough to track down for these. I do appreciate you doing this, but uh,
Yeah.
is it kind of the same camp as always? I know you work a lot with Max, work a lot with the guys in California. Does it change anything up, or the same as usual?
Not my same crew, you know what I mean? If my coaches feel like we need someone special, they'll bring someone special in. But as long as we've all done our homework and as long as I get in the best shape I can and I'm sharp, I mean, there's nothing really else to worry about.
What you make of Brendan's last fight? 'Cause I actually thought he would beat Imavov, like, and it was kind of surprising that he did slow down that much in the kind of a 3-round fight.
Fuck, I'm trying to remember it.
It was the one in Paris where they were both kind of gassed in that third round, which kind of
Yeah.
surprised me.
I mean, they both went for it, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But yeah, no, he definitely gassed out. I don't know. I don't know. I really guess I haven't really. I watched that fight a while ago. But it's been a minute. I really don't fucking remember it too much, to be honest. I remember that he gassed out and he was like diving at his legs desperately and shit.
Mhm.
But that's about it.
Does that give you some confidence going to this one? Just seeing how he kind of faded in that later rounds. That's kind of where you are the best in your
It's
fights.
like most middleweights, though. Most middleweights don't have a gas tank. I mean, I think Duplessis has the best gas tank I've seen, and then there's probably Whitaker has a good gas tank, and there's a couple other ones. But no, I don't know. I really don't take too much thought into it, but I know that he gasses, and I know that I'm coming for his head. I mean, he fucking cut me the time we fought before, and then he head kicked me. So I just want to go do what I do best. You know what I mean? Put some hands on him.
Fighting back in front of fans too. How happy are you about that? Not being at the Apex.
It's dope. Honestly, I really don't care as long as I'm getting fucking paid. I'll
Yeah.
fight anywhere. I'll fight in the fucking front yard, backyard. I feel like I fought in everywhere growing up.
For you, and then no, I don't know if they'll be officially back to like the old gloves again. I know you fought in the new ones. Did you notice much of a difference between the two?
Not really. They both hurt. So,
Yeah, because I've
you know
talked
what
to
I
a
mean?
lot of fighters, and they've all kind of said they thought the new ones were supposed to like help kind of relieve the hand pain, and it
They
really didn't.
sucked, man. They were like thin, and all the padding was in the back of the hand. So it was like, why the fuck do we even have gloves? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
uh,
With this one, like, how do you kind of see this one playing out between you and Brendan?
I see myself getting my hand raised and it being a fucking war, to be honest. I mean, I don't really know like step for step where it's gonna
Mhm.
go. I just know that it's gonna be a violent fight between both of us, and we both fucking come to bring it. So I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think of win over Brendan, especially if you can finish him? Like, does you? I'd imagine like you'd probably be like a win or two away from getting that title shot.
That's pretty much what I'm thinking too. I think after him, we renegotiate my contract, and I believe they'll give me like a top 5 or 3 fucking guy to prove myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
because like after Strickland DDP, it seems like Hamzat's going to be next, and then I think like after that, like you kind of get in a number one contender fight after Hamzat is what I kind of would think.
that would be cool, you know. But who knows with the UFC? So I'm gonna just stay healthy and try to stay active. You know what I mean?
With that title fight, like how do you kind of see that one playing out the rematch between DDP and Strickland?
I don't know. I don't remember if I watched the first one or not. To be honest, I don't really watch fighting too much, man. I just kind of focus
Yeah,
on whatever the fuck I'm doing in life, and then when the time comes to go fucking to war, then I'll do some homework. But I don't know.
who's going to be in the corner for this one for you?
That same guys as always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh, just kind of the last couple of things. Like, what is kind of the goal then for you? Like fighting personal wise, like what is kind of the goal for 2025 for you?
So the goal for me is to fucking go get this title belt, and then change my fucking life and get the fuck out of the city, man. I hate the city.
Where in California you don't like?
No, I'm in Sacramento. I just don't like. I'm not from here. I'm not from Sacramento. I'm
Yeah.
from fucking Dunedin, California. It's super country and laid back out that way. I'm trying to get my ass back out that way. I'm not too much of a fan of Sac personally.
What's Sacramento then? Just for the gym then? That's why you're out there?
Yep, gym and my kids going to school. Basically, that's about it.
Did Sacramento get hit by the fires at all? Or is that like outside where you
Nah,
guys
that's
are?
hella far. That's L.A.
Oh yeah.
That's way south.
So that
Yeah,
wasn't even a worry then.
yeah. No, we're chilling. It's all like clear skies and shit out here.
For you, do you think that Pereira fight was kind of that first one that people are really kind of starting to talk about you as a contender? Because you've always been a guy I feel like don't get a lot of respect that you deserve, and I think that Pereira one maybe kind of started to turn some fans that are like, oh, like he is kind of the real deal.
I don't know. I honestly don't even go online that much to even look into shit. I really don't give a fuck. Like I just show up and I fucking like to hurt people, so and get paid for it. That's about as far as I look into it. I do my homework when the time comes, and it's just be violent and fucking change my life. That's about it.
Is there any reason why did you just not like watching fights? Because like I've talked to different fighters,
No, I
some
like it.
love it, some think it's just a job, and they don't really care to watch fights that aren't their opponent or like their friends. Like, is that kind of how you feel about it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like if my boys are fighting, I'll do my best to watch, but I really don't like. It's cool. I mean, I liked it. I liked it a lot when I was growing up and shit.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just got a lot more things going on in my life that I'd rather do or that I'm busy with than watching fights. You know what I mean?
Well, Anthony, that's all I had for you. Thanks so much for doing this again. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
no problem, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, we're jumping UFC light heavyweight. Modestas Bukauskas is back in action here. UFC Seattle at the end of February. Modestas, how's it going, man?
Yes, going very well. Thank you, sir. Always good to speak to you.
Yeah, always good to talk to you. Like, first thing, been a bit since we saw you. Like, July, you got that win. Like, were you surprised you weren't able to get another one in before the year was up then?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised to be honest with you. Like I was just trying to stay in training, trying to make sure that I'm in shape and stuff like that, just in case I did get a call. I was hoping I would get something in there, but obviously the stars didn't align. But then I used the opportunity or grasped my chance to get my hair transplant done. That's why I'm wearing the hat right now. Hair transplant, got a new tattoo, and stuff like this. So yeah, whilst I knew I wasn't going to get anything like quite soon, I just got all of that stuff done. Like I say, I mean, having one fight last year, I would have loved to have had more, but it's all part of the process. And look, I got one nice and early this year, so yeah, man. Like I say, we're gonna start off with a good roll for 2025.
And then getting put in Seattle in front of fans. Like, I know that is a bit away from you, but like, how excited are you to be not just at the Apex, you're actually in front of fans again?
Yeah, that was a big thing for me actually. The fact that like I say, I get to fight in front of a stadium in America as well for the first time. So I've always fought at the Apex. I've never fought in America in front of a crowd. So it'd be nice to get myself well acquainted with the American public by putting on an amazing performance. So yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't really ask for anything better. Anytime I get a stadium show fight, it's always it's so live. I love it.
And the massive card you're on, like for a fight night card, like if you just put a title fight on this card, like I think it's a pay-per-view worthy. Like you look at all the names on what's like be a part of this card and tons of legends on the card, like Cejudo, Cruz, like
Yeah.
Edson Barboza, like tons of like high level guys and big names.
Yeah, massive, Nate. I'm surprised it wasn't actually an undercard, but if you look at, like I say, if you're looking at it from top to bottom, a load of great names on there. Do you know what I mean? Like Steve Garcia as well, Anthony Hernandez, Brendan Allen. I mean, yeah, I mean, literally the list
Curtis
goes
Blades
on.
is on the prelims too. It shows how
And Curtis
good it
Blades
is.
as well. I know this is absolutely mad. So, but it's good. I mean, do you know what I mean? The fact that it's got so many good names on that, and it's a fight night, so it's going to be easier access for people to watch. I'm expecting a lot of eyes to be on it. So that's just better for all of us, you know, competing on the card. So yeah, it's great, man.
I know you wanted to return pretty quick, like so fighting in February is good. But was there any thought of like, hey, let's just delay it 4 weeks to the date and get back in London?
I mean, I would have loved to fight in London. I mean, it would have just made sense. Do you know what I'm saying? But you know, I can't complain. Like I say, fighting in the stadium in America, that's another thing that I can check off the checklist. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm actually really happy. The fact that I get to fight in front of a crowd, doesn't matter where it is in the world. It's absolutely, obviously you'd love to fight at home, but the fact to get to do it overseas, and like I say, get my name out there a little bit more, is a blessing. So, you know, I mean, who knows as well? You know, you get a quick finish, you never know. You might be able to still turn it around. But obviously, I don't think about that. But yeah, man, like I say, just got to go out there and put on a performance.
Or you can just get the UFC to bring you out and enjoy it as a fan, beer in your hand, and don't
Yeah,
got to worry
well,
about
exactly.
fighting.
There's another way to do it as well, man. Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Come out there, you know, VIP style and everything. So, yeah, but like I say, the only way that works out is if I put on an amazing performance, and that's what I'm going out to set out to go and do. So, yeah, man, let it all play out.
Your opponent, like, how familiar were you with Raphael?
Not really so much. I mean, obviously, I only just saw his UFC debut, fighting against Arba Aslan. He didn't really get anything off in that fight. Got caught quite early, so you didn't really get to see much of his skill set. But he's a talented guy. You know, he was tilted to go and fight on Contender Series for I think a couple of times actually, and for some reason they all fell through. So he got the last minute call up to fight Aslan. So you know, obviously now he's got a full training camp. He wants to wipe away the tears of the previous fight. So you know, he's going to come into this fight obviously extremely motivated, extremely determined, having a full training camp, training with good guys. So you know, I expect him to be dangerous. So like I said, I'm expecting the best version of Raphael to come out on fight night.
Yeah, it was weird. He was booked like 3 times, and I think his opponents pulled out all the times. Then they're eventually
Yeah,
just like, all right, we
we
will
might as well
feel
just
bad for
sign
you, might as well just sign up.
it.
But his debut, like 50-second knockout, do you even look at that when you like studying him? Like, or do you kind of look at his wins more of what he's done?
You've got to look at everything. Obviously, there's not that much footage on him. A lot of his fights were in Brazil, and you know, like I say, they don't put a lot of those fights up on YouTube or anything like that. We know what his general, like, you know, sort of tendencies are and stuff like this. But like I say, he's going to come in extremely motivated to put on a better performance than on his debut. So you know, there's things that you can take from every single fight, from every single thing that they're doing, and you know, there are highlights and other clips and stuff like this. So I'm just preparing for the best version of this guy. You can't go in there complacent at all. You know, you got to go in there and expect to fight the best athlete there. But that means I just got to impose my will and put on the pressure on myself.
The thing I noticed on him, like obviously a ton of early finishes, but you kind of look at the guys he's fought, not a ton of like high level guys. So like, is it kind of hard to prepare for something like this where you like he has knocked out these guys, but it's like, well, who's he really fighting? A lot of these guys like 2-1 or 2-2 or whatever.
Yeah, well, look, bro. At the end of the day, I've got to go in and do the job. You know, I've got a man in front of me that wants to beat me, that wants to take my hype and get up in the ranks in front of me. So either way, I've got to go and take him out. And if it is the case that maybe he's a lesser of an opponent, well, it's up to me to show that he's the lesser opponent. You know what I mean? I need to go out there and impose my game plan, impose my will, and make. You know what I mean? It's if they say that he's not such a dangerous opponent, I've got to make it look like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's down to me to go on and put on the performance. I take every opponent seriously. It doesn't matter who it is. You prepare to the best of your ability. That's why I'm out here in Liverpool right now training with Tom Aspinall, and I'll be doing that every single week leading up to when I go out for fight night.
That was actually my next question. I was going to ask about camp. If you brought in anyone, what kind of is Tom someone you always work with? Is it different for this camp, or how'd that kind of start?
So during my last camp for Praknio, I actually was training with him for I think about 12 weeks probably, or maybe even longer than that, leading up to that fight. So we had a load of great names out there. Ante Delia, Mick Parkin, Phil DeFries. We had like James Webb. We had like a whole host of like amazing athletes. We had other guys come. Even René Derrida came for a little bit as well. So we've had some extremely talented guys, and his whole team are amazing. Took me in with open arms, like great team. And obviously we just keep in contact, you know what I mean, and see where everyone's at in terms of their careers and when they're fighting. Obviously Mick Parkin's now got a big fight as well. Tom looking like he's hopefully going to get a fight soon as well. So we've got a lot of guys who are getting ready and preparing for fights. So we've got a really good team out here. But I've also brought in an additional training partner to the camp. So I've brought in Simeon Powell, very high level PFL fighter. Listen, long, rangy, fast, athletic, young. You know what I mean? All these good things to bring, and he's going to be in my corner for the fight as well. And he's like a lot of the stuff that that me and my dad, like in terms of the drills and stuff like that, we're able to do that together. And it's not often you can find a training partner that's that high level and that competitive to be able to do stuff on a daily basis, on like pretty much mostly a daily basis. You know what I mean? So dude lives like literally about half an hour away from me, so nothing crazy. And then he's been coming up to Manchester as well. So we've got a really, really good solid unit of people out here, and I'm very grateful that they, like I say, that they accept me into their team. And yeah, man, it's just helping me get prepared the best way possible.
With the way you two guys fight, like it seems like probably won't last too long. Both of you guys are high level strikers, a lot of power. So like, how do you kind of see it playing out then?
Well, as I mentioned before, I've got to put the pressure on him. He's got some really really high level striking, switching stances, same like me. Can throw some crazy kicks from all different angles. Pretty similar to my last opponent, except more of like a Thai style as opposed to the karate style. So yeah, man, it's just up to me to to land my shots first, to land my shots more aggressively, and impose my game plan and my will on him. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
What do you think a win here does to you? Like 50 UFC win, it would be what, 2 in a row? Like in the UFC, it'd be what, 3, 4 of your last 5s? Like, what do you think this kind of does for you in the division?
I definitely intend to be working my way towards that top 15, if not getting a top 15 matchup after this fight and after this win. So, those are my thoughts and where I set my sights. Ultimately we're here to fight anyone. You got to take them all out, but I definitely want to be pushing myself towards that top 15 because, like I say, I want to go on that title run for next year. So, yeah, man, that's what ultimately where we're going.
What is kind of the goal then for you this year? Like, I know we always talk about it. You always have the vision board stuff. Fighting early in the year can kind of set you up for a pretty big year.
Yeah, well, I want to have 3 fights this year. So, big, impressive victories, will always be very favorable by the UFC. You create some noise. Well, I've said this on a couple of other interviews, actually. The main goal for this year is to make some noise. I didn't make much noise last year. Okay, yeah, I won a fight. Great. At home was good, but I didn't make enough noise. So this year is all about making some noise. So big win here, another 2 big wins. I want to be working my way up the ranks. So going towards top 15, top 10 territory. So all you got to do is go out there and perform, and these things will come to you. So like I say, I'm just working my ass off, and that's what we're working towards.
Just final thing, like with Tom, do you think that Jones fight ever happens? I was under the assumption, I always thought before the Stipe fight, I didn't think he was gonna fight Tom, and now
Who
kind of,
knows?
and then
Who
now,
knows, mate? Like I say, it's obviously there's things that will probably need to be negotiated from both sides. And 1 minute Jones is saying that he wants to retire, next minute he's saying he wants to fight this person or that person. It's all a bit of a mumbo jumbo. No one really knows exactly what's going on. But Tom's always training. He's always he's helping me out. He's helping all the other fighters out. So whenever that call comes, if that call even does come, obviously he'll be ready. But yeah, ultimately it's just a bit of a smoke screen at the minute. No one really knows what's going on.
it's tough for Tom too, because like he's the interim champ, he's already had to defend it, and he's kind of in this weird spot where he's like, you shouldn't take another fight unless it's for an undisputed belt. But like, if that Jones fight happens, like, how do you kind of see it on playing out? Because I think that's like, other than Conor Habib, I think that'd be probably the second biggest fight in like UFC history.
100%. And look, people underestimate, like I've mentioned it before, people underestimate Tom Aspinall's speed and his IQ and his ring craft and his feints. There's a lot of amazing attributes that people almost don't really see, but it's only because they haven't really seen it, because he's finished guys relatively quickly. So I think those things will come as a surprise, like just placement of where you are and where you are in terms of in front of your opponent, whether you're in boxing range or kicking range and stuff like this. He's got a very good judge of distance and range, and he's got wrestling, he's got jiu-jitsu. Obviously we're all training these things. We're all training to be competent in all of these areas. So yeah, man, look, and Jones is definitely the greatest fighter of all time. He's done such an amazing thing in his whole career. He's very versatile himself, training with very good guys. But ultimately, I see Tom taking that fight, and I hope it happens.
Well, Modestas, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much for doing this again.
Nice one, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, have an amazing day.
Yep.